All right, everybody. I am the Sage Wanderer coming at you from my mini dilapidated tour bus. And yeah, I'm kind of stuck on the Civil War thing. We're going to talk about more of the elements of what could make up a civil war in this country. Today, I want to talk about the many sides in this Civil War. The press would like to paint this as a fight between Trump supporters and non-Trump supporters. They would like to make this a fight about racist versus non-racist. And in reality, this is the tribalization, the division of America based on ideologies, race, and economic disparity. So I think at the core of this whole thing is the economy, and I will say this under on all these videos: give us jobs, and we'll all get along. Because really, people just want to live and be happy, and it doesn't matter what color you are. The exception to that may be the side of the Islamist. So you've heard me talk about Antifa. I don't talk much about Black Lives Matter because the jury is still out on them to some degree. I see a conflict within their own organization that might be resolved, and they might renew their original vision, which was to be a watchdog group against police violence against people who are unarmed and not threatening. So in that regard, I supported them. I don't believe that the police or anyone should be allowed to be going around shooting people because they get a little trigger happy and fear for their life. So I think there's a lot more responsibility to be had in law enforcement about the use of their weaponry. I own a gun. I never shot anybody. I never pointed at anybody. And if I pointed at you, it's because, you're trying to kill me. And if I pointed at you, the next thing you're going to see is barking flames, because I don't brandish a weapon unless it's necessary. But that's another video. So Black Lives Matter has become a black nationalist movement where they are pushing for things like reparations. And if you don't know what reparations are, that's where people who weren't alive during slavery sue or ask for money and possessions and property from people who also were not alive during slavery based on the color of their skin. So, they want white people to pay up for the sins of the past. Totally disagree with that. We got to let that crap go. If you can't let it go, I don't know what to tell you. This is America. People aren't going to give up their stuff for this. They're not going to pay you anything. They're not going to let the government take from them for this. But, that's another argument. So, I think you've got Antifa, you've got Black Lives Matter. You also have the Islamic side, which is really not that big of an issue in America unless maybe you live in Michigan or Minnesota, where entire cities are being taken over by immigrants who are installing their own forms of government, culture, religion, and quite frankly a way of life that is absolutely in opposition to the United States Constitution. But I think all three of those groups have something in common. They kind of all got a problem with the Constitution. Freedom of speech. Speech is not hate. Speech can be hateful, and it can be a symptom of hate, but it is not considered violence. Speech is not violence. If you think it is, then sign a waiver, and you'd say mean things to me, and I'll punch you, and you see who gets the short end of the stick. Speech might hurt, but it's not violence. Emotional violence is not physical violence. Because you know what? You can walk away from free speech. You just walk away. Just, stop talking to that person. It's that simple. So, we've got these many sides. In Great Britain, their main issue right now, and in other areas in Europe, are these Islamists who are moving into these areas and taking over entire areas, creating no-go zones where even the police won't go there unless they have armored backup. And they're defying the rules, laws, and the constitutions of those countries. And they're trying to do that here as well. But because we have the physical barrier of the oceans, we're so far away from their homeland, and we have it's wide open in a lot of ways, but we still have a pretty restricted immigration policy in America. Countries like Poland are having no problem at all. They're going to skate through this global conflict pretty well, as long as they can defend their borders. But here in America, the Islamists aren't as nearly as big a deal as they are in Great Britain. Their nations are being torn apart. Great Britain, Sweden, France, Germany, all of these places are having an Arab Spring type of revolution taking place, right there in their own countries. But here, these three groups I've mentioned are three of the many sides. The other side is the Latino, Hispanic, immigrant revolution, which is mostly in California. It's at the root of the problems in California. I think you're going to see this heat up. They absolutely hate Trump's wall, and it's given them an excuse to stand up. I do think that the elections have been swayed by the allowing of illegal immigrants to vote in states like California, and they've gotten used to having the vote. They feel like citizens, many of them, and many of them have been here a long time, And before you start calling me a racist, to let you know, I have been in bands and formed partnerships with Hispanics, and some of my best friends are either Hispanics with white wives or white guys with Hispanic wives, and these couples are near and dear to me. I believe in interracial love, let me tell you. So anyway, yeah, the Latinos in California are beginning to really drive the Southern California political scene. And the Civil War I talked about in California in a previous video is probably going to be fueled by immigration. I didn't really go into that. It's not so much an Antifa or even Black Lives Matter kind of revolution in California as much as it is what happens when illegal immigrants start to have a serious advantage numerically over citizens. And we're not quite there yet, but that's coming. With the Islamists and the Hispanics, my love of this country and freedom has always made me think that, you let people like that in, and pretty soon, you got just a regular American like anybody else. Their ball games and apple pie and the flag, and they serve in the military. I mean, that's what the Irish did. We came in, we all just assimilated. And I have always had hopes and prayers that Islamic people could immigrate to America and just become normal Americans and can see their religion is not a political system, but rather just a faith and a personal decision. But behind all of these groups is they all have one thing in common. And I'm going to include white supremacists in this, the far right, alt-right, whatever. I hate that term because I think it's a blanket term that's drawn a lot of people in that aren't racist, trying to cover them in racism. But the far right are part of this too. They have this in common as well, that they all want to control our country. White supremacists want to see a white-controlled country. Black nationalists want to see a black-controlled country. Latinos, Latino activists, they want to see a Latino-based country. Islamists that come here, they want to conquer America for Islam. At the heart of America, she strays from this from time to time, but for the most part, the heart of America is live and let live. Whatever floats your boat, man. You have the right to do what you want to do. You can say what you want to say. Live how you want to live. Just don't try to tell me how to live. Mind your own business and you won't be minding mine. We can agree to disagree. We can be friends although we're different. I don't have to control you, and you don't have to control me. The spirit of control has seized the world. I really see it as the devil. I mean, it's just a demonic plan. Why should I care what you do as long as you don't do it to me? I don't have to go to your party. I don't have to hang out at your church. I don't have to go sit with you and be like you. And we can be different and still be friends. Hell, I'm pretty dang white. That ain't never going to change. I might as well learn how to get along with my black and Hispanic friends, my Asian friends. Have Asian friends. You know, really, I'm just a freaking hippie, man. Let's just all get together and love each other. I'm not trying to protect my race. You shouldn't be trying to protect your race. We should be trying to protect each other as Americans. But the spirit of control has been on us for some time. The live and let live ideology, whatever floats your boat, it's your right to say what you want to kind of thinking, is disappearing. I don't really understand it because America has never been more uncontrollable than it is right now. The internet has given us freedoms like we've never had before. You can't control me. Just try. You can attack me, and I can attack you back. And then what do we got? A war. Civil war. We're back to civil war. Why can't you just let me be and I just let you be? Charlie Daniels used to say, leave this long-haired country boy alone. I think that was him, or Hank Williams Jr., I don't know. What happened to live and let live? If we don't figure this out, all of the horrors and things I'm talking about will come to pass. The unity, the United States, the United People, the United Citizenry of America. Hey, I'm broke, you're broke, we're all broke. We don't need a class war in this country. We need a strengthened economy. And I think, that's what Trump's trying to do. If y'all just leave him alone for long enough, he might actually do it. If the people on the left and the people on the right keep pushing back and forth, if the mainstream media keeps pushing their agenda and their narrative, I saw a great meme. White power scares people that aren't white. Black power scares people that aren't black. And then it showed a black and a white hand shaking hands, and it said, but this is the kind of power that the establishment fears. I couldn't agree more. What we need to do at this point in time is to love each other. Because love is the only thing that can stop a war. Hate makes war. Love makes peace. Well, I love y'all. Thanks for listening. Long-winded video. I'm going to keep talking about this until I feel better about it.